And it's going to be a hard sell. We read the story from The Independent. I think it's important to talk about. YouTuber Ethan Klein calls Joe Rogan a piece of ish for vaccine misinformation. Rogan's fan hit back after Klein calls out how podcasters' logic makes no sense.
I appreciate you bringing back ish, by the way.
Well, Luke did actually.
Luke did.
Yeah,
It's one of my favorite words.
Right.
I can't say much here.
It deserves.
My vocabulary has been cut, and like
deserves
25% of it has been cut.
So Ethan Klein, the host of H3
Luke's still working on his
podcast,
English.
hit out at podcaster Joe Rogan, saying Joe Rogan, who lives on elk meat, egg yolk, and human growth hormone with lungs full of tar, thinks he's healthier than everyone. This MFer is such a B that when he got COVID, he threw the kitchen sink at it. If you're so healthy, just write it out like you say a man should. Dude has caused so much vaccine hesitancy and misinformation, and he doesn't even have the balls to stand by the ish he preaches. Now he's on his show talking about how fat people should just die of COVID. Dude is such an effing piece of S. I have a legitimate question. It's not a dig. Is Ethan Klein saying this because he's an unhealthy, overweight individual?
Probably.
Yes.
Sounds like
and so like it was like when Joe Rogan was talking about being overweight and unhealthy was bad for you.
No,
I think people people take it personally.
So if you understand sociosexual hierarchy, right? This is typical gamma male rage against an alpha male, right? This is the basic idea of, someone who's kind of at the bottom of the food chain in terms of preference, lashing out at someone who is higher up on the food chain from them. And it's very simple. You see this a lot with YouTubers, but not just YouTubers in general. That's just, they're more ubiquitous these days. You see it everywhere. You see it in real life. You see it in, office hierarchy. You see it in high schools, colleges, etc.
Political leadership. That's when it's scary.
To an extent. Well, political leadership is a little bit different though, because political leadership is not conducted because of someone's health and prowess and accomplishment, right? There's all these like Byzantine rules and ways. I mean, look at we've got like the Peter Principle presidency right now. Joe Biden was not picked because he's our most competent leader, right? That's not exactly how he got there. So for Ethan Klein to lash out, it's totally in line if you understand sociosexual hierarchy. That being said, my question is, he says lungs full of tar. Is Joe Rogan a smoker?
He smokes weed, right?
Yeah,
he smokes weed.
He doesn't smoke cigarettes.
Cigars.
But Joe's a
cigarettes.
health nut.
Does he?
I don't think so.
Cigars. Puffs on cigars.
Oh, that's right. That's
Cigars?
right. I'm pretty sure he does smoke cigars.
But does he inhale?
I don't know.
You don't
Then how would his
really.
lungs
You're not
be-
supposed to inhale.
Yeah, obviously.
Cigars.
So how would your lungs be filled with tar then?
I don't know.
But we should also point out that this is some of the stupidest advice given out by Ethan Klein that absolutely makes no sense. You're telling Joe Rogan not to take medicine that a doctor is telling him to take?
This is the paradox of what he said. Ethan Klein is not a medical doctor. No one here is a medical doctor. No, we all have our opinions.
Luke,
but
is
Ethan,
Bill Gates a medical doctor?
Hell no,
but,
he's
but,
not.
But Ethan Klein, to be like Joe Rogan shouldn't give medical advice. You should not listen to him. You should listen to them. It's like, bro, you shouldn't be giving medical advice either.
Yeah, he should be hit by YouTube in terms of services.
Well, it's Twitter. It's not YouTube.
Look up what the medical background of the CEO of Pfizer is.
What is it?
He's
Just
a
tell us.
veterinarian.
Boom.
Oh, he's a veterinarian.
He's a veterinarian.
Oh,
Well,
horse-
that's
And a
fine.
salesman.
This is
A very
medical
good one.
background.
Interesting.
Joe is he's a healthy guy.
Yeah, he is.
That's just, I
He
mean,
looked
he is
great.
fit.
54.
I saw an Instagram video of him doing a front kick a couple days ago. He looks like he is 42 years old.
Yeah,
He looks
he's
great.
He exercises all the time. Now, I mean, you can certainly talk about your opinions on diet and whether or not eating so much red meat or whatever is good or bad. But for Ethan Klein,
It's good, by the
to
way.
paradoxically, it's actually a bit ironic, I suppose, of him to be like Joe Rogan's an idiot for saying these things when he's quite literally a podcaster saying the exact same things in the other direction. It's the same problem. Like, you should not be. Though a lot of people have pointed out the goal of what he said was to generate press, and it worked. Here we
Obviously.
are talking about him.
Yep.
Obviously.
The media's writing about him. Congratulations.
Explain to me what's wrong exactly with elk meat, egg yolks, and HGH.
Okay, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm like that.
I can tell
how
you
is he
elk
using
meat-
that as an insult?
He like wrapped
He's saying
two
it's not
two
healthy.
nascent ones in with like a more controversial one, and it's supposedly it's like
yeah.
No, I mean
HGH is somewhere like elk meat. Like, come on.
again, it's like, bro, you're on the side of GMOs. You're on this, like, you would be on the side of the Sackler family early on in the OxyContin debate when it comes to this.
crazy.
How
I-
dare you
I
be
gotta be
against
honest.
the Sacklers?
I don't think he tweeted for attention. I think it's like people tweet because people tweet.
Oh, it's gamma male rage, dude.
No,
I'm telling you, 100%.
Well, sure.
He was
But what I'm saying
not
is
thinking about any of that stuff.
He's an unhealthy guy who clearly does not eat right or exercise. Joe said that's a huge comorbidity, and Ethan got upset about it and said, who are you to criticize me when, you won't take the vaccine or whatever?
Explain to me the pathology, right? And I've still been trying to actually find this one. And if anyone's in the chat who has this, because I always try to examine the various, like there's, Dr. Mullen talked about mass formation psychoses, but there's also like narrow formation psychoses. There's all these different little bands of pathologies around in our society today, in this post-industrial society that we have. And so the interesting one that I found is like, show me a guy who looks like Ethan Klein, who's like triple vaxxed, gigavaxxer, who's eaten Uber Eats and DoorDash all the time, and yet will scream their head off about you being unvaxxed as a threat to their health. What is the pathology there of someone who clearly has not taken one step to change their personal behavior, but will demand that you change yours?